Oh, well, howdy there, cowpokes. Come on in, sit around the fire, get warm for your spell. Come on in, come on in. Plenty of heat to go around. I reckon I should tell you a little bit about myself. I've come here all the way from Texas, where I serve as a Democratic congressman. So I would really appreciate if nobody would tell anyone that I am here. My name is Tyler Merchant, but most folks around these parts call me Dirty. Don't ask me why, because I do not remember. If someone tells you they know why, they are fibbing. There are various accounts, and they could all be true, they could all be hogwash. But suffice to say that it's stuck, and there is not much that I can do about it now. Believe me, I have tried. I have been a member of this organization for some time, going all the way back to the original Grundlehammer, Dun Dun, where I played bass guitar in the band. For those that are unfamiliar with that instrument, it's like a regular guitar, but without the respect. I have, in fact, participated in some capacity for the great majority of Bro's performances as a musician, as a writer, as a stage crew, as a member of the staff, and now apparently as a stereotypical cowboy. Well, that's enough about little old me, though. You guys are here to hear the legend of the pee-pee. That's pitch party for y'all new folk. this kind of thing was not really necessary for a very long time, because we would generally just produce whatever damn fool reefer-addled idea that somebody came up with that was the most comprehensible. Now that worked for a while, but eventually as more people became involved, same thing happens that always happens when you get a bunch of attention-starved artists together who become comfortable enough to ask for things. And they all wanted to make their brilliant bullshit come to life too, so that they could justify their art degrees and student loans to their parents. Well, how does one fairly decide what to do in this situation? We, of course, turned to those beacons of rational thought, the Greeks, and decided to kill all those uppity bastards with hemlock. Well, someone correctly pointed out that there might be a problem with that. And then we turned to the other thing that the Greeks are known for. Not that, no, the other one. The other one. Democracy. The marketplace of ideas, where, of course, we throw a bunch of ideas out there and the best ones rise to the top. And that is what we are here to do tonight. To practice. Yes. That's the after party. You'll hear 6 brand new ideas from 6 incredibly creative people who are going to come up here and put their heart on the line, put their brains on the line, and show you something they really, really want to make happen. And then we will all decide which one we want to dedicate our bodies, our sanity, and of course, our relationships to for the next 2 years. Does that sound good to everybody? All right, cowpokes, let's light this candle. P-Bone, I think you got a little something to say to these folks.
Just a little something quick. Hi, my name is Patrick Stacer. I'm the executive director of Bros. I'm sorry, I'm a cowboy too, I think. Bowen's going to give you an idea of what the pitch party, but I'm going to interject right here and just remember that this is a community space and we have a code of conduct within this community. If by any chance you receive the microphone to ask a question later, don't be a dick. This is not a space for criticism. It is, if you receive the microphone, it is to ask questions about the pitch, to help further your understanding about their idea, not to critique it. Sound great? All right, awesome, thank you. That's all.
All right. Well, I clearly overestimated how long it was going to take me up here with the number of beers that I brought.
You can just stay up there and
But
drink.
as the cowboy code is never be thirsty. All right, first up we got Aquarius Dreamin' by Lucas Fox and Hannah L. Kelsey. Give him a big old round. Room 2.
Are we gonna tell how the pitch works?
Oh shit. That's not my job though.
Keep going that microphone.
Who wants to do it? Yeah, dysfunction is part of democracy.
So there's an unofficial additional member of the Bros Artistic Council who's about to choose the order of the pitches. The pitch teams don't know who goes first until tonight. All of these talented people have prepared a 5-minute slideshow that they're going to deliver for you tonight. As Tyler said, choose the one you want to work on, because it's going to be up to us to produce this thing over the next 2 years. So each of these teams is going to come up here and they're going to get 5 minutes to present their idea to you. That's really hard. I don't know if any of you have ever pitched an idea to somebody in the kitchen at a party. It takes a while, unavoidably. So they've boiled them down to 5 minutes. That additional Q&A section is your time to learn more. So really think about, what you want to know. What world you want to inhabit. The Marble Blues up after Aquarius streaming. Sticking to the time limit is hard, and we give all of these people our deepest gratitude and respect for doing that. We're going to try and keep this running pretty tight. This had a late in the game change of title. Studio 187, Swing Shift, a Rock Opera Memory. And our last most delicious pitch. The Bullheart Conspiracy. Thank you, Autumn, member of the Bros Artistic Council, for choosing the pitch for. And there we have it. So, I'm going to hand this off to Aquarius Dreaming. And I'm going to ask our pitch teams to use this little dais over here in the corner, so that way we can see and hear you. There's 2 mics up there that should both work, and the clicker is with Lucas right now.
Pictures! 7,000 years. Yeehaw! Right. Pew. Stick on a lid. Yeah, man. I can't help it. What am I talking about? Oh, look at that. Hey, guys. What's going on out there? All right. All right. We good back there? Yeah! The luck is up. This is Aquarius Dreaming. Hannah and I are going to write this up real good for you. It's going to be so good, man. You don't even know. We're going to get there in about 2 seconds. We'll get on with it. You guys ready? Yeah. Wait, but hang on. Are you ready? Yeah! All right, thanks. All right, so Aquarius Dreaming. There was a little blurb in some of the emails that you guys saw. I really liked it myself. It said that our guy Robin, that little blank figurine over in the corner there, his life was supposed to go somewhere. It went nowhere, and now it's going completely off the deep end as an Assyrian river god. That one right there, enters his head and decides that he's going to be a prophet for the new age. What kind of new age? That's up to Robin. We don't know yet. We're going to find out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to dream it. All right. So what's it all about? It's about love and joy and friendship and failure and the inherent value of small things and the conservation of the Chesapeake Bay. It is all about the relationships that people have with each other, the net of things as they exist and as they exchange love back and forth, and what it looks like when a part of that web has been isolating itself and needs to come back into it and accept both that love that is being offered to it and offer that love back out. Hence, I think the kind of conservation thing, I really like that. It's got a lot of fun to figure out. All right, so why? Well, it's fun and silly. There's going to be a big puppet. Not to mention, yeah, shocked, right? Not to mention, I'm very easy to convince the puppet front. So, throw me a puppet idea. What's to say? What do you know? All right. I also want to play with video with it a lot. I think a lot of our current existence is mediated through screens and such, and I think the Bros is really good about that. And I think it would be super duper sexy if it's going to be a contemporary show, which it is going to be a contemporary show, in good old Baltimore, USA. That I think we should play a little with video. We should get interesting with it. We can have fun with it. I also think we can get queer with it. There's not too much about giving and exchanging that kind of love for each other and yourself that I can't really think. I didn't mean to. I'm conceiving of it, and I've got all these lack of pronouns for the most part, and I'm like, oh man, this is just for whoever's talent. Nah. I think there's a really queer story there, and I think that's important. And then similarly, we need this. This is going to be a big, optimistic, hopeful thing with lots of fucking colors and a bunch of, animals and plants and shit about it. And I feel like, given the state of the news, that's very important. And a happy ending! Oh, thank God, right? Holy shit. Yeah, I was gonna say, Lord, good Lord. All right, who are these events happening to? Well, I already told you a little bit about Robin Walzer. Robin, an ex-TV host, burnt out, living with their buddy Carmine, huge crush on their coworker Lauren. They're working at the feminist bagel store, Equal Bites. You guys have been there. You guys have been there in Hampton, right? That's definitely a contemporary thing that already exists. They're not having a good time right now. Carmine, on the other hand, Carmine's having a great fucking time. Carmine is working for an environmental nonprofit, positive, no chill, best buds with Robin. Taking it all in, man. You know what I mean? If Robin has too many fucking fish tanks they're taking care of, that's okay. They're going through a lot right now. All right, Lauren, naturally, the crush. My immediate thought was, how do I communicate pixie dream something while actually being a person? And I think Liberace, love that guy. Anyway, definitely sort of a mutual crush situation, but you know, you can't just jump on that if they're all shy like. They've got to come out of their shell. And that's a lot of this show. So anyway, we also have our Syrian river god, Ea! Who's stuck in a fish for a long time. They're kind of flood the world. They've already done it once. But you know, if Robin has something to say about it, if Robin has a different world in mind, perhaps a more hopeful one, an interesting one, well, that's what it is. And then we have the Aquapunks, because we need greatly dressed villains. Yeah! Eco-fascist assholes, because not everybody in support of the environment is a good person. They're also in a weird polycule with their eco-terrorist leader. This all sounds very sexy, but I assure you we can make this very not sexy. Or like, you know, sexy in an evil way, like Scar, kind of Lion King sexy. Yeah, it can be working. All right. Our music, those 4 albums are kind of a center. We have the Yes album, we have Turnstiles, Billy Joel, Queen's The Mollusk, where we have Ocean Man, you know, that sort of thing. That did not have any relation, actually. It's just a good album otherwise. There's also Since I Left You by the Avalanches. What we have here, what this heavy mix puts forth, is this wonderful, interesting, instrumental, sort of jamish vibe. If you want to trip to this sound, we're doing it right. We'll figure it out. All right, style. We're gonna go over this real quick. The one on the far right, that's just easy to do and it looks good. The one right there fits with the themes and it's colorful. And this one highlights all our hard-working fucking designers and is also just kind of interesting and neat. Anyway, we're gonna incorporate this in. We're gonna fold it in like an album. Good times. All right, so the general vibe of this entire thing. Who chooses what a better tomorrow looks like, and what happens when that choice is made with loving hearts, messy hands, together. This whole thing is Bros inspired. There's not a single part of this that doesn't have one of your thumbprints on it, and you need to know that, because we're gonna make something good. No matter what it is, we're gonna make something great. Thanks, guys. Very great. Oh, Christ. Hi, guys. I'm back. All right. What is this, 5 minutes for Q&A? 10 minutes for Q&A? Holy fuck.
Bowen, can you turn up wireless too? Test.
Sorry, there it is. All right.
Patrick, you sound so good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was curious if you have thought of a central conflict between your antagonists and your protagonists.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the leader of the Aquapunks, Ahab, because that's what you name the leader of. Yeah, anyway. So, they have kind of a fundamental friction. Robin used to be part of the Aquapunks, but realized that huffing algae killer under a bridge and tossing tourists in the harbor is not actually a legitimate lifestyle. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. Right. So naturally, Ahab is kind of in the picture, just always agitating, and I think that it's probably going to be Ahab that first inserts Ea into Robin's head. You know what I mean? That kind of central, you know. And then where it goes from there, we can see. Do they try to foil that? Is a better world not possible from their worldview? Do they just want to kill Robin? That's the easy answer. We love death. All right.
Other questions? Dirty, can you hit him?
So I'm fascinated by the variety of music that you said you're taking influence from on this one.
Yeah.
I saw that you said that there are some, you have ideas for weird instruments to be involved in the music. Do you
Yes.
have any specific instruments in mind in that category?
I will not lie, I want a kazoo number. Yeah, I thought that might go over good with you guys. And also in a very real sense. So you can see that it's kind of 70s themed throughout. That kind of organy sound that was really popular at the time, that's very good, that's a little hype. We also see at the beginning of that kind of era, and kind of with some of the Avalanche stuff as well, the incorporation of more heavier sounds while also still being groovy and interesting and fun. Yeah, definitely the kazoos though. I don't mind. You know, we'll probably throw a rain stick up there. We said, you know, somebody in an interesting outfit with a tambourine. I really think we have lacked tambourine-based lemonade.
Mike to.
Hey, I'm just wondering, what kind of aquatic creatures did you have in mind for this show? Because I am so fascinated.
Hell yeah. So, if you look up the Chesapeake Bay Conservation Program, there is actually so many fascinating species that live in our watershed area. So, I did research for another project that I was doing. That was just a lot of kind of the different species that live in the area. Cow-nosed rays migrate through the Chesapeake Bay, which is always fascinating. Any variety of whales, an endless variety of fish, including the ugliest son of a bitch I have ever seen. The toad frog mouth, which is just gorgeous. This horrific little nightmare. And I won't lie, I'm an amphibian fan at heart. Any kind of frog, salamander, or newt has a way in my, chesticles. And generally as well, invertebrate are always underappreciated. I want some bugs in there. We're gonna get funky with it. This is not gonna be like a, ooh, look at this charismatic megafauna. We're gonna be strange with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you tell us about the big puppets?
I'm so glad to. All right, so Gaia naturally has to be awesome. Have you ever heard of a god that was not supposed to be awesome? Well, that sucks, and I hate it. So we're gonna do a big AF fish puppet, hopefully. An Assyrian river god really deserves its time in the spotlight. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to experiment with some kind of like Chinese lion dance kind of looking puppet. That said, also with the introduction of any different sort of fauna, you have endless opportunities for frog puppets. Any amount of the similar, just, kind of aquatic stuff. They recently did a fascinating thing at Voyages, which I think a couple of you were at. They were doing some great work there in terms of the interesting stuff that they were doing, and I'd love to replicate some of their puppet work.
How are we doing on question time?
One more.
One more.
What more?
Could you talk more about the video stuff you were talking about?
Two more.
Fuck yeah, Chris.
Two more.
All right. So, I was watching Twin Peaks when I yeah, I thought that might go over okay. All right. They did a lot of communication and sort of lampooning of themes through the use of just this soap opera that they randomly inserted in. Right. Yeah. So I think there's also a lot of comedic potential there as well. We did great work with the Computer That Loves through the use of just Steve, kind of explicating the plot. And I think between that and some little channel flippy kind of vibes, some little more nature documentary things, I also think it's a great way to get ensemble members in the spotlight. There is nothing cooler than, kind of going through the rest of the show and then having your moment. Mom, Dad, that's me. That's me up there in the soap opera. I'm doing the freaky thing with the thing. That's me. There I am. So I'd really like to just kind of cut that together in a way that feels organic and interesting and kind of helps with exposition, because there's nothing worse than an actor just talking at you. Or I don't know, like unless you're doing like Our Town or something. I don't know. All right. Last one.
How many lead characters? How many lead characters? How many supporting characters? Ages, genders? Do you have an idea about those things yet?
So, very importantly, I think I want to play with ages and genders. I think this is a very talented community. I do not think it is necessarily bounded by certain sets of pronouns. And further, I don't think any part of this has been conceived as specifically, or I think it was initially conceived as, but has since migrated past gender specific. Similarly with age as well. I'm not that interested. I think if we can find some real talent and tell a real story with the characters we've got, that's that. That said, in terms of main characters, I think we'd be working with up to no more than 5. And then similarly, there'd be plenty of supporting, so I'd say the cast of 15, roughly. It's a nice number, it's a nice workable number. We could go a little higher than that because we're entertaining and interesting, and we'd have lots of talented people, right? Yeah! But 15's a nice number. All right, that was it. You kicked me out, right? Oh,
you're going. Get off stage.
Disappointed.
Yeah, nobody likes somebody just talking at you.
Yeah, that's fine. Proof in the pudding.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Aquarius Dream. What a beautiful idea. I do want to point out the inherent contradiction to a show with a kazoo song and your assertion we could make it not sexy. I don't see how that's going to work out. Prove me wrong. She doesn't like it either. Doesn't like it. All right. Up next, we got a humdinger. Got a humdinger of an idea. The Marble Blues by Logan Avery. Logan Avery here. Oh, there he comes. How you doing, friend? Get right on up there. Yeah, where everybody can see you.
Howdy. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, Mr. Cowboy, for inviting us to the PP. Space. It's big. It's empty. It's up there. It's the perfect place to set our stage, because in the year 2648, humanity can no longer live on planet Earth. Due to pollution, nuclear war, and overconsumption of resources, the planet is dead. This play, The Marble Blues, takes place in an established space society. There will be, it takes place on Martian biodomes, Venusian cloud cities, and good old-fashioned space stations. Unfortunately, losing planet Earth did not cause humanity to band together and sing Kumbaya. There is still distrust, inequality, and hoarding of resources out there in space. Capitalism is alive and well. The Marble Blues is heavily inspired by 60s sci-fi, Star Trek, The Expanse, Cowboy Bebop, etc. It's going to have elements of film noir, post-apocalyptic survival, power ballads on the meaning of life, and some slapstick comedy. At the heart of the play, we have a trio of deep space truckers. We are going to be it's very inspired by the classic Spock, Kirk, Bones dynamic with our scale of pragmatic to empathetic with our main protagonist right there in the middle. And what really sets off this action is, during a routine run, this trio of deep space truckers, they are ambushed by pirates during a routine mineral haul. They are marooned on an abandoned research satellite by these pirates, and there they discover a scientist, cryogenically frozen, who promises a cure for Earth's environmental woes. Introducing the villains. While constructing the scientist's device, they attract the attention of VitaCorp. VitaCorp is this mega corporation that has totally monopolized air and water sales throughout the solar system. And obviously, they are not going to let a free planet full of air and water be revived, because that's very bad for business. These guys are going to be gaslighting, greenwashing, quite possibly girl bossing. They're having a good time, but they are not going to let the trio of space truckers try and fix the Earth. At the play's climax, there's going to be the main heroes of the Deep Space Truckers. They form an unlikely alliance with the pirates from the first act, and they take on VitaCorp in a giant final fight and against a literal corporate machine. And yes, that is Mr. Trash Wheel. We are going to make a giant puppet that is a corporate corrupted Mr. Trash Wheel, a beloved icon of Baltimore, totally corrupted to a mockery of everything it stands for. It's going to be this evil, giant, towering puppet, and it's going to be right there at the final act of the play. Will everything turn out all right for our protagonists? Will Earth really be fixed in a way that they want? Find out. But what is this play going to look like? First up, and sound like music. I really want to. There's a lot of cool sounds associated with space. There's classic OSTs of sci-fi movies and TV shows. There's synthesizers. There's crazy stuff, and I want to try and take all those inspirations and interpret them with the musicians and instruments that we have available. But I also want to take this opportunity as like a show that shows like all of humanity in a way, to really pull in some other genres, like if we can have samba or dance music for space stations, and like have a bunch of other strange genres like electro, like synthwave and stuff like that for the antagonists. And also I'd love to pull in some recurring motifs or instrumentation for our various characters. If we could have like sort of clean guitar for the main trio with arpeggiating synth and piano, and the Space Pirates have to be totally fuzzed out rock and roll. I will not budge on that. And we can have like really aggressive synthesizer for the evil CEO. There's a bunch of other album recommendations down there that are kind of cut off. But anyway, costumes. So it's going to be a lot of jumpsuits. It's going to be Jumpsuit City. Hopefully we can like throw like we will throw like a mask or respirator on top of the jumpsuit to do some spacewalks. But I want to do a sort of gradual shift from like 60s retro sci-fi for the main protagonists to more modern for the Space Pirates, to cyberpunk or futuristic looking jumpsuits and spacesuits for the VitaCorp goons. Hell yeah. Roger. Sets. Okay, so for the sets, we're gonna have some claustrophobic interior sets for a play taking place in space. We're gonna use every available inch inside these spaceships and spaceports. Lots of lit opportunities will make a lot of things glow. And I want to contrast that with the VitaCorp HQ, where it's very clean and like spread out, and they can have plants just for decoration because they have all the water. And also, we want to do just a few exterior of the ship sets. If we can have actors stand on those sets to be outside the spaceship for spacewalks, that would be really cool, because the big moment. For the big moment of the show, I wanted to introduce sort of like the scene of it all by hanging a giant projector screen sail or tarp from the rafters at Zion and projecting like stars onto it to show that our actor is like underneath the stars, like enveloping the whole stage and maybe part of the audience with this giant tarp that we suspend. I totally forgot my slides. Anyway, and it's a bit of a rip-off of Interstellar 555, by the way, if you can see in the bottom left. It's essentially that introduction to the character outside, melancholy, on the surface of their spaceship, wondering what is the purpose underneath all these stars. Other big moments, I want to do the cryo chamber reveal for the scientist. When I was playing keys for Lempira, I loved how much light and fog I was sitting next to, and I really want to make that part of the audience experience for this play. If we can build mirrors into the sets and bounce light all across the stage and possibly into the audience with a ton of haze and fog everywhere, I think that would be super cool. Also, we have a lot of space battles. How are we going to show those? Do we want to make complicated models? Do we want to do some stop motion? Do we want to have videos? There's a ton of ways. Also, what should these ships look like? If you have an idea on what a cool spaceship should look like, hit me up. And also, the giant Mr. Trash Wheel puppet. It's going to be probably pretty crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there. Okay, what's unique about this play? We are going to be pushing a lot of things in terms of size and scale with this play. There's some really big sets. We're going to be treating outer space as a set piece. That's kind of, how are we going to do that? It's going to be cool. I'm excited to find out. But also, this play is important to me because it's fun and fantastic, as an outer space space opera should be. But also, it is going to be asking some tough questions and pointing to a pretty ugly future, which we might be heading towards if we don't do something. The fear that the Earth's ecosystem is slipping away from us is a real fear that I have, and the feeling that it's too late to do anything about it, that's something that I hope we'll play with, basically, as putting on this play. We want to take that feeling of, well, it's too late to do anything, you know, what can we do? There's, you know, we're kind of powerless in the face of climate change and all these other elements that seem out of our control, and we kind of want to turn it into a call to action, especially having the characters sort of come around in the second act of the play to sort of take on VitaCorp. And speaking of, well, what can we do? There's a lot of work for this play. We can design spaceships, we can create space as a set piece, we can build a ton of cool space stations, and we can make some giant puppets, and I'm really excited. So, yeah, that's it. That's the Marvel Blues.
Just for the audience's note, the overture, or whatever, the is the time warning for the people on stage. Yeah, it's not just random people fucking up. It's intentional. Questions? Actually, I'm being selfish and I'm picking a question first. Hey, Logan, how's it going? Bros has done space and jumpsuits and Evil Business Corps before. Get it, Business Corp. How open to Bros lore insertions are you as part of the show? Do you want it to be its own independent universe, or are you open to like Bros show history sort of inserting itself and being a part of this?
Definitely down for references. Definitely down for references to past works. That sounds like a lot of fun. But I think, yeah, definitely as references for people who know, who have been there before and seen the previous shows.
I need to know if Mr. Trashwheel is redeemed at the end.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I need to know if Mr. Trashwheel is redeemed at the end.
There is the potential of having the evil CEO thrown into Mr. Trashwheel and destroyed by Mr. Trashwheel.
Good luck, everybody, on coming up with a more relevant question. I don't know what else I'd like to know.
I don't think this is like relevant to any themes, but as far as far as like the effects go, based on what you mentioned, would you prefer, whether this is your inspiration or what you like to see in a show, would you like to see that the show executed through like digital special effects or something a bit more traditional, like not just stage show effects, but something like how they would do effects like way back in the day in old movies and stuff?
I'd love practical effects. They sound really cool. And I know Bros has done some like spacewalks before in the past, so I'm open to a lot of different, you know, let's figure it out and see how we make all these cool outer space moments happen. Yeah, I'm open to pretty much anything.
Nice.
Hi, so you talked about, back here, hi. You talked a bit about the general idea of the characters, very Star Trek-like and such. I was wondering if you could talk more about what the dynamic between the characters is like what would you say is like their personal relationships?
Well, I'd say for the main protagonist, their dream sort of is to find a place of belonging, which the big driving force behind the main protagonist is that like the generation of the past sort of stole his future. There is no Earth. There is no where he belongs, or they belongs, I suppose. And they get caught up in this dream of fixing Earth, basically. And without giving too much about the ending, it's not going to be a traditional. We're hoping to subvert a little bit the trope of like, oh, we're going to save the Earth. It's probably not going to be fixed in a day. It's not going to be this miracle panacea. But the message is sort of like, oh, life. It's a little bit every day. That's the focus of the play. But in terms of characterization, protagonist is really searching for meaning, and then the two other of the trio, they're sort of at ends with they're sort of fighting to control how the space trucker business is going to be operated, and there's going to be some focus on how they should go about responding to like the situations they're in, like with the pirates, and whether they should pursue this cure for Earth or not. But yeah, I mean something akin to the classic Star Trek main trio, I'd say.
Hello. I love this idea of space battles on stage, and I'm curious, what would that look like to the audience? Would it be these big ships with light effects for blasters? Would it be like unarmed people fighting and pushing someone to the side of an airlock or something? Like, what is the thought of what that would be?
I think definitely everything that happens on the ship we'll show on stage, but things happening outside the ship we can do with models or do with visuals on screen. But yeah, there's I think everything that's inside the ship is gonna be acted out by actors. That's my current working hypothesis.
Is that time? Is that cut?
We have time for one more.
One more.
One more. Make it kind of quick. Minute 15.
Oh, yeah. If I missed this, I apologize. Are there aliens in this world, and if so, what kind are they? What would they look like? What would their role be?
I think there's going to be no aliens and no warp speed, unfortunately. I just chose this because it looked cool. We can go to this instead. The idea is that it's contained within the solar system, and there's no other Earth to go to. That would kind of defeat the message of, hey, let's take care of Earth, basically. No aliens, I'm sorry.
As we run a tight ship. Time moving forward, I think, and that's all for the questions. But a reminder, there it is. You are able to chat with the pitchers after this event as well to ask your questions in a less public forum. So feel free to do that.
Thank you, Logan Avery. Thank you, Marble Blues. What an amazing idea. Somewhere 3,000 miles away, a man named Chuck Green had the hairs stand up on the back of his neck, and he doesn't understand why. And then when you said no warp speed, he had them immediately lay down. For anybody that doesn't understand that reference, Chuck Green is a horse. Coming up next, we got a man who is a glutton for punishment. He put up a show not so long ago, and it was quite an experience. And he's ready to do another one. Where's Gabe Shacking? Where you at, my friend? There we go. Life and Death of Barnaby, Wrigley. I did it right the first time.
All right, hello. I'm going to tell you about the show, whimsical dark comedy called The Life and Death of Barnaby Wrigley. I'm going to talk at you really fast for the next 5 minutes, so buckle up. I know, right? So, first things first, rule number 1, really important info, kind of like the thing for the whole show. People equal puppets, souls equal people. Why did I pick a purposely confusing way to tell you this? I don't know, I really just can't help myself. What to me? In the world of this show, humans and their physical, fleshy bodies are marionettes. Their souls are the cast members that puppet them. This will let us do some really interesting staging of things like death, astral projection, possession. I'll give examples. Bros is really well suited to pull this off, and it's kind of the whole reason I wanted to pitch this show. A show that's divided between life and death. The life happens in the little town, a seemingly perfect and idyllic 1950s American dream suburb where the set is the main street storefronts but scaled to the puppets. Because people equal puppets, right? Puppets live in a little town. The music here in the world of the living is musically, like really musically. It's gonna have winds and strings and influences from things like The Sound of Music, George Gershwin. It won't all be so creepy, but it's gonna mirror this American dream aesthetic. In the little town, we meet Barnaby. Barnaby is an apprentice to Mr. Schlaker, the baker with a dark secret, and Barnaby loves this little town. But even more than all the rest, he loves this girl. She's in this town. She's just the best. Her name is Beth. Important things to know about Beth. She loves baked goods, hates cream cheese icing. Yes, that will be plot relevant. She's prepared to be that perfect 1950s housewife, at least for now. At the top of the show, Barnaby proposes. Beth says yes. Barnaby dances in the street where he gets hit by a car and dies. But people equal puppets, right? So it's the Barnaby marionette that gets hit by this scaled down car, leaving the Barnaby actor free to stare on in shock and find himself in the afterlife where things are different. The music here is emo and pop punk. Think My Chemical Romance, Paramore, early Panic at the Disco. It's called The Flip Side, a dark and grungy version of the little town filled with spirits like Barnaby that are yet to move on. And this is scaled to the cast because souls equal people and souls live in the afterlife, right? That makes sense. In the flip side, Barnaby meets Top Hat, a nameless spirit who is jaded and totally over life, loves being dead, definitely hasn't tried to reanimate his corpse a bunch of times. He looks like Brendan Urie, but dirty and maybe dragon. He tells Barnaby to give up on life and grab a drink. Also featured in the flip side, you guessed it, tentacles. They reach out from the great beyond, whisper Barnaby's name, and are full of all sorts of bad things called thoughts and feelings for Barnaby to ignore. Meanwhile, in the world of the living, Beth befriends Barnaby's former mentor, Mr. Slaker, and learns his dark secret. He gets his recipes from ghosts. But how? Rule number 2. If you want to do magic in this world, you do it through the confectionery dark arts. Mr. Slaker practices the warm art of baking, so he'd do things like bake a cake with a pentagram on it. Like devil's food cupcakes with black candles. Substitute egg yolks for, down there, the blood of a virgin! I don't make the rules, don't ask me why it works this way. I kind of make the rules. Anyways, Mr. Slaker teaches Beth astral projection so she can separate her soul from her body, like put down her puppet, to find Barnaby's spirit for a final goodbye. But Beth wants more than a goodbye. She steals Mr. Slaker's ancient Egyptian book of the bread and to deal with his nemesis, the ice cream man. Does his head look like an ice cream cone? His head does look like an ice cream cone. What else do we know? He is literally soulless, and souls equal people. The audience will never see the cast member that puppeteers the ice cream man. Unlike Mr. Slaker's warm baking magic, he practices cold dark magic, like black cherry ice cream, chocolate syrup, sprinkles, and worst of all, necromancy. At the end of the first act, we find ourselves at Barnaby's funeral. That looks a lot like a wedding. At this point, he's convinced the reluctant Top Hat to help him from the flip side, while Beth, whose soul is now dressed full emo with black wedding dress and everything, works with the ice cream man to reanimate Barnaby's corpse. But the ice cream man and Top Hat were working together to betray them. Top Hat takes over Barnaby's corpse instead, Intermission, and then the whole town. Beth and Barnaby try to stop him, but things balloon wildly out of proportion. Tentacles whisper and grow around the theater. There's a whole second act here. It gets crazy. Listen. When Beth says she likes cream cheese icing, even Barnaby starts to question what's really going on. That's when in crashes a giant car to Deus Ex Machina Top Hat and his ice cream abomination. Out of it steps a tentacle monster in a snazzy suit and bowler hat to sing Barnaby the truth.
It's time to die.
He really is dead. This is all in his head.
It's not a joke.
He's dying on this sidewalk at this very moment. The giant car drives away, and behind it, we find the first scene of the show. Barnaby's marionette under that scaled-down car, and Beth, the real Beth, crying beside him. Barnaby makes the choice to leave the crazy magic world of his mind so his soul can make a connection with Beth. He can tell her he loves her, and his spirit can finally move on. It's the life and death of Barnaby Wrigley. Thank you very much. That is actually
Questions? Can you hit Lucas Dick?
I'm a rambling over there.
So typically we do like drink specials for shows. Can we wrap in like bakery?
I want to do a bake sale so bad.
Oh my God, done.
Could that be part of the show? Like people getting baked things mid-show?
I would love that. There's a cake that's a very important plot element. If we can give some free samples to the audience or something, that'd be lovely.
Who's raising their hand over there?
As far as scale for kind of the puppet version, it being on the stage, what are your thoughts about just like visibility to the audience of something that's a lot smaller than like the average?
Yeah, so one thing I'd really like, I'd want the puppets to be maybe like a third scale. So, not like the typical like really tiny marionettes, but they're still pretty big. But since the cast members are being the souls of these puppets, I'd really like to see them dressed in like the same costumes as the puppets are, so we can still have these people emoting with the big facial expressions and really showing what's going on with their full-size bodies when it's the puppets just interacting with the world around them and kind of getting the separation between the physical and the metaphysical.
See, that's different than what I was imagining. I was imagining these marionette pieces that were hanging from the ceiling in some way on a track or something, and then they would detach themselves from it when they were their spirit person.
Yeah, it'll be like
and
souls.
Go back into the matrix whenever they reattach to their
It's like if you imagine you're sitting in this room and behind each one of you there's like a giant spirit that is holding the strings to your puppet moving around.
Question over here.
Will there be like a choreo moment, like bye 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 marionette dance? Please say yes.
I would love there to be something like that. That'd be amazing.
Dirty, you're slacking. Sick clouds next time. Come on.
What?
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Oh, I'm slacking. Okay.
Questions. You over here.
So I've tried to make a marionette and failed horribly. Do you have thoughts as to like the design of the marionettes, like and how they're going to be built in terms of like numbers of joints, all that kind of stuff? Like.
Yeah, so I personally don't, and that's one of the things I really would need help with the bros community to work on. One thing I would love to have happen with this show would be leading up to it, like way in advance, to try to get some people from the community to host like marionette building workshops and things like that, so that we could have time to work through different designs, try things out, maybe even get some, set aside marionettes to work with early practice things for the cast of the show. Yeah, definitely something I could not do by myself. So, I need all these lovely people who are here to make that happen.
Yeah, this is a random idea. I just had like 2.5 drinks deep. But to the point of like it being difficult to make marionettes, have you thought about having people like sort of dressed or with makeup to look like marionettes?
That would be interesting. That definitely, I'm sure as we get along, if we were to do this idea, there's going to be a whole bunch of trial and error and things like that. We're definitely ways to figure it out, right? As long as we get some way to separate the puppet from the souls through different points in the show, it's really only a couple characters that'll have that. That big dramatic moment of losing the puppet and having the soul happen. But yeah, there's a lot of ways I can make it happen. I really like the idea of there being literal strings. So you can put the line and, like, oh, I don't have strings attached anymore, dumb things like that.
Make a jumbotron.
What are the central themes and takeaways that you want the audience to leave with after they've seen the show?
Yeah, so one of the big themes is just this love between people, like an actual romantic love and these feelings of when you care for someone so much and something bad happens, like what are you able to do with those, right? So really, I guess the whole show is kind of, the characters going through this grieving process, right? And there's two different ways that are going to be reflected in it. One being Barnaby, who's trying to kind of ignore this thing and see the bright side. Then the other, that's Beth, where even though it's not like the real Beth in the world of the show, this really does mirror the character arc that, the Beth of the real world is going to go through, where she's feeling like this world around her is all pretending to be happy in this fake facade, and then she leans into this more, emo, goth culture of really leaning into the feelings and expressing these things and feeling it. So I guess really just letting the audience go away with different ways of how different people feel with grief, what you can do for yourself when these bad things happen, how you deal with it, how you need to face these things and not just ignore them, shove them in a corner and pretend like you're in this happy, magic, crazy world with baking spells and all that.
Any more questions? Got a little more time? All right, Dirty, take it away.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you so much, Gabe Shackton. Wow, what is it? No, I don't want that. That's too complex for me. No. It doesn't look like Spurs, therefore I'm not interested. What a beautiful idea. I'm curious, like, what y'all think maybe is like the most like evil confection. Correct, yes. God damn. Winston, you continue to kill it, baby. I love you. Where's your beans? Got him. He's got the beans. Hot damn. Fuel? I don't think that counts as a confection. The beans are fuel. What about like bean bread? That's gross, right? Beans on toast? No, like beans in bread. Like you bake it in. Or like a croissant with beans in it. That's gotta be the grossest thing. Alright, we can do this all night. Alright, next up, we got a very interesting idea from a man who has never been here before. He's a very new person to this organization. His idea is called Studio 187. I just asked you if it was after this one, and you said it was.
Yeah, after the one we were watching.
Good God. All right, well, Bye. See y'all soon.
Come and get your cold beer and tomato cocktail on mocktail. Right there. Very good. Thank you. Inspired by the woman.
At least two, yeah. I'll be right back.
Well, I want them both, but just, waste not, want not. Do everything. Thank you very much. Benji may be
He was talking about Sebastian. I really thought thank you so much.
Can I get a
Yeah, like other than like I've only done like one other just doing two back. Got it. Now that I've filtered all your ones. Oh, I don't want to take that one. You deserve it.
Can I get another?
It's crazy to think that like about a week or two I can't believe that. Like I felt like I wanted to but at the same time Thank you.
I surely do love this cocktail. It is incredible.
Wow, I'm so glad you liked your free sample.
It's fantastic.
I have
I'm going back to my seat. Wow, another free sample? That's incredible.
Wow, what a great deal.
Wow, that's a low price.
A low price of sample.
I'm good, but are there any beads? Is that the mystery can? I think that was the pumpkin bead, but I'm not gonna get the pumpkin. Are there the elderberry ones?
Sorry for making you dig around.
I think that's soft drinks. Also, welcome back. Is this your first Rose event since Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. Wait, as of when? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I completely missed that. I haven't seen you in a while, but for good reason, you know. I kind of wasn't expecting it. Oh yeah, so see that around. If you don't see a single non-soft drink in there, it's probably not there. I don't want you to torture your hands too much. Wait, you see one? Alright. You were so determined. I appreciate it. I think the only other thing that I'd be interested in is wine if they're already. Yeah, don't worry about it. Thank you for all your efforts, though. I'm pretty sure that's all. You don't need
Listen, mountain doesn't rhyme with
Before we get started again, I want to casually tout our costumes workshop on Thursdays from 7 to 10. Really looking for volunteers for that one, for the fall show that's coming up, so we got like 6 weeks to figure this shit out. Thursdays, 7 to 10, maybe know how to sew and or paint, one of those two things. Also, there's some sort of my motorcycle musical thing that I'm going to let Steph talk about. Did you already do this?
Here's the thing I didn't, but Greg told me I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I can't. Okay. So this one's gonna be really fun. So I work with a nonprofit that we are associated with, the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and they just do all kinds of things for men's health, from trauma stuff to behavioral health, physical stuff. Anyway, whatever. That's a fun aside, but we also do really fun, exciting programs as well. You don't have to have a motorcycle to go, but there's lots of fun tie-ins. This one specifically is at Audubon on the 31st of this month, and it is a rock musical from the 60s, so I feel like there's a lot of tie-in for going just to go. It's going to be upstairs at Audubon at 5 o'clock on the 31st of this month, and it's very mods versus rockers, and musically, rock-themed, opera-y. Sorry? Quadrophiliac. Oh. It's gonna be very fun. You should go.
With that, Bowen, are we ready? All right, Dirty, here you go.
Woo!
Trail is a lonely place. A lot of times it's just you and your horse and the sky. Of course, Chuck Green is always there. But only in your mind, not physically. Every once in a while, you feel you need to connect with someone by thinking of a story, thinking of the people that are in your life, the people that you love, recollecting the experiences that you've had together, experiences that you're going to have. And sometimes you think about the people that are part of the world that you're living in. Spirit of the twister, spirit of the cactus, spirit of the ground beneath the cactus. And that's the thing that keeps you sane out here. It's just that small connection to other people when they're hundreds of miles away from you. And all you have is yourself and the wilderness. And your horse. He's not there this time. Story is one of the most important things that makes us human. It's the thing that keeps us connected to each other even when we're apart. It's the thing that connects us even closer when we're together. And that's what we're here to do today, to find the best story. The thing that will make us all connected and more human. I'm so glad you guys are all here with me today on this drive in the middle of Texas, where I'm from. But that's enough about me. Coming up again, we got another story. It's called Studio 187 by our good new friend, Eric, name I forgot. Gerthal, I want to say.
Yo, Eric, name I forgot.
Enjoy. Good. Yeah, go up there.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes. All right. Ooh, I'm a short man, so there we go. I guess if I hit the button, it should play our music. Hi, I'm Eric, and this is Studio 187, a glam rock murder mystery set inside a late-night TV variety show. Picture it, you're at the studio taping of a 1970s variety show, live, on the air, the sketches, the songs, the crushed velvet. But midway through a sketch, something goes wrong, and a cast member is murdered. The killer could be anywhere. The cast, the crew, even our house band. It's a glam rock spectacle where the audience is not just watching the show, they are trapped inside it. Set during the taping of a long-running 1970s variety show, Royal in Velvet, the onstage and backstage blur. You'll see the dressing room chaos, the crew techs, the rolling cameras, not just as set dressing, but as actual characters. We start with rock and roll sparkle and sketches until the murder jolts everything and the cast and crew have to scramble. Once was once entertainment turned into a real-time murder mystery with commercial breaks. We have a large, diverse cast and diverse and eclectic ensemble cast, including our host, the variety show cast and crew, and guest stars. Velvet Vane, our ironclad host who survived decades in the spotlight and isn't about to be upstaged by some dead body. Dirk Devonshire, the soap opera heartthrob and guest star, and our musical guest, Blitz. At the center is our hero, Frankie, the stage manager who's trying to keep the show rolling while unraveling the mystery. As the bodies pile up, everyone becomes a suspect, and Frankie hatches a plan. Stage a fake finale and catch the killer. The look, it's everything a 70s variety show dreamed it could be. Bright, fun, sparkly, and sleazy. It's Velvet Goldmine, it's Sonny and Cher, it's Bob Mackey, gold lame and platform shoes, feathered hair, and big eyeshadow. Act 2. The comedy sketches keep coming, and the backstage drama unfolds. The audience gets caught up in the whodunit of it all. In between, they're treated to parody commercials and TV promos. We are fully immersed in the world of the live taping, and you'll see the backstage and control room and crew. Some audience members will be seated right on the stage. We'll build like a set where you can actually have them come up and dance. And we'll have real cameras recording everything and maybe cutting to the monitors across the stage, which you can't see it cut off. And who knows, maybe the killer will take control of those monitors. And in the final act, one of 3 possible killer endings for repeat viewing. Our Scooby-Doo style monologue, a bloody head, a final ensemble song, the cast goodnight, and the killer is carted off by the cops. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you crazy kids. The kill, which starts as a cheesy magic sketch, ooh, can you click? Suddenly turns into a real horror when the sawing in half trick goes wrong. And in a blackout, the audience thinks they may have, and probably really have, witnessed a real murder. It's comedy turned terror in a moment that blurs reality and sets the tone that anything could happen. Also, let's drop a dummy from the rafters, because dummies are fun.
Yes.
The music? It's a 1970s late-night variety show. Imagine T-Rex and Susie Quattro highlighting a murder mystery. It's glam rock. Big riffs, boot-stomping, hand-clapping anthems, and bubblegum hooks. It's big and theatrical and mad fun to dance to. You'll leave humming our rockin' tunes. Just let me DJ a dance party. You guys will all freaking love it. I also submitted some song sketches with this pitch, and I'm very excited to work with you guys to write some really killer tunes. The show is full of all different types of songs. Narrative backstage drama songs, songs within the variety show sketches, the house band vamps over the dialogue, commercial jingles, and our musical guests performing live center stage. Studio 187 is my love letter to late night TV trash and pulp mystery. Part SNL taping, part Scream, part glam rock concert. It's a fully immersive spectacle where the fourth wall doesn't exist. It's like if Sonny and Cher hosted SNL and someone got murdered mid-sketch, with the backstage drama straight out of Agatha Christie leading up to our Clue-style rotating killer ending. I mean, the show is about all of you and the love and chaos of creating a live production, but then making it a murder. Someone says, I have this crazy idea, and all of you say, how can we help you make it? It's a beautiful freaking thing. Keep doing that, please. We have stagecraft, songwriting, visual gags, video, all with an ensemble cast driving the comedy and the action. We're not just building a show, we're building a fully immersive world. Thank you. Feel free to submit your questions in announcer voice.
Mike, way to rock that time limit. We got a question right here.
You said that there are 3 possible killers.
Yes.
Does the audience get to vote?
I thought about that, but I kind of feel like I would not want to.
Sort of messy.
It's more of a, you come and you see a show, and your show might have one of the 3 killers, and you can come back and see another killer.
Oh, so they rotate.
They rotate.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can you say some more about motive?
Motive, yes. So like each killer will have a different motive, and it's like a puzzle box mystery. So if you come and watch, the first kind of 2 acts will all seem the same, but in the 3rd act, when they pull out the killer, it will kind of retrofit all of the clues into this kind of Scooby-Doo style, like I would have gotten away with you. No matter what the killer is, they all kind of have a motive, like Agatha Christie and what was it, Murder on the Orient Express? They're all stabbing. They all get a chance to stab. Yes.
Yes, over here.
Yes.
So you said that at the end the killer will get caught and carted off and have his like I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids moment.
Yeah.
After that, what kind of note does this wrap up on? Like how does it really like resolve from there?
Yeah, it's really like a Saturday Night Live or something, like the cast good nights, and you'll kind of all say, thanks for coming and all that stuff. It'll have a final kind of ensemble song that, like, blood and glitter kind of, all audience.
Okay. And so with that, is there any like specific message that it leaves you with there, or is it just is it more like just along for the ride?
I guess Me personally, I am not that political of a person, so it can have those kind of messages in it. My theme here is just really fun, rock and roll. But yeah, if you want to put those kind of things, I haven't really written this thing fully. So some of the characters have more of a political bent to why they want to, get rid of the show, whether it's ratings or capitalism or, just all the terrible shit that's going on.
Can you pick the best defined character that you have right now and talk about him a little?
I have a couple of defined characters, but I really like Velvet Vane, who is the host. She's kind of like a Grace Jones meets Cher. I have a thing where her best work is she had a toothpaste commercial that was banned because it was super erotic. and then Frankie, the stage manager, I really like. She's like a Susie Quattro, Leather Tuscadero kind of, or they. It really doesn't have a gender for Frankie, or any of these really. I mean, some of them seem a little bit more male or female fronting, but I don't particularly care. The 70s glam rock is really kind of androgynous, and I really love that kind of stuff.
So I have I really love the concept of it being a live taping of the show, because I think that could really have an amazing tie-in with our streaming audience. But does that mean that there is only one possibility for streaming? If there are 3 killers, there might be 3 separate streams. I'm sorry, I just turned into a Skeksis.
No, I guess also, they're talking about the final taping where they would eventually show you this whole thing. I guess, like Clue, we could do the final one where it could happen like this, or it could have happened like this.
Oh my god, closing night. Love that closing night. What do we got?
Is it the same person that dies every time, or is there different victims for the different killers?
So, there is 2 people that kind of die every time in a way. Some of it is like non-speaking kind of cast members in a way, and non-speaking crew. So the first victim I have is like a Victoria Jackson kind of person who gets sawed in half, basically. And then the final death I feel like is Ricky from Royal and Velvet. So they all kind of hold up Ricky's bloody head at the end. It's kind of all the way to work all the puzzle pieces together.
You talked about how the audience is at a live taping. Are there clues for them, or how does that experience play out for the audience?
So yeah, it's like immersive, and we'll have audience plants, and kind of it never kind of stops, even during the intermission. It kind of all happens to you. You won't get a playbill to Studio 187. You'll get a playbill to Royal and Velvet, the show. So it's...
We get Lucas and then Carla.
So we've got sparkles, we've got blood. What are we thinking about for the murder weapons that these sparkles and blood would be on? What are we finding that is killing these people?
So yeah, the one is definitely the one thing I have in a kind of more defined thing is the sawing in half, where it's we'll have a big glittery chainsaw that will get switched for what is known as a real chainsaw, but obviously we're going to play with like a lot of stage magic. I like the idea of doubles and weird kind of, mystery boxes where things pop up and down in the stage, but the audience doesn't see it. You see it as a magic trick. So yeah, I have the glittery chainsaw, and then I feel like an axe. I feel like you could do a poison where just the cue card guy just kind of, and like that's, and that's a death, like there's ways to kind of build in these deaths into the thing, but I haven't figured it out. Part of the fun of writing it with you all.
All right, I have a quick one. The band, is it going to be on stage? Are they part of the cast? Do they have lines? Are you talking about a band that's fully integrated with the show and not just a band off to the side playing songs?
Yes, I am talking about, they have a name, they're called Stage Left, because they'll be Stage Left. And they are the G.E. Smith, or the Roots, or whatever it is, of Jimmy Fallon, right? And they're They will both have a band leader that can be part of the performance, along with they kind of can move the dialogue, vamp underneath it, play a song by themselves, but also move the songs musically around. But we will also have a singular band, a performer named Blitz, who I want to have do maybe a disco song, and then like a fully glam rock, like leather clad. Everybody comes up, the whole audience comes up, they stand with them, and we play like a one-off kind of like rockin' effing song, you know? Like,
If we mic the band and give them lines, we might start running into union issues.
Playing with fucking fire.
I know.
I guess we'll have a
It's a
separate
lawsuit
actor.
nightmare. Any other questions? We go, yeah, Abby.
I'm just wondering, having not worked with this company yet, why is this a great show for bros, and why are you excited to work with all of us?
So yeah, I mean, I just moved here. I met Seti, and they took us to Lempira, and I fucking loved it, man. It was just, and so I
You
was
did the
like,
Big Bang though, yeah? You did Big Bang
and then I
this
did
summer.
the Big
Yeah.
Bang. Well, Seti was like, I was like, can I write one? And she was like, you can. And I was like, well, here's one. And they were like, it has to be not covers. So, so then I watched the pitch for American Vamp, which was freaking awesome. I watched the whole pitch party. I loved all your pitches. And I just thought of this idea. I was like, I would like to see the fourth wall break in multiple ways, whether it's having someone like, I have a commercial for a 1-800 psychic, and I want them to then show up and actually read the tarot cards that predict all the stuff to come. So like we break the fourth wall multiple ways over and over again within the show. But yeah, I was in a band for a bunch of years. We would have other types of performers play with us all the time. I really love your guys' like energy, like I do, you do, we do, I do, we all do it together. It's a really, really great collective, and I just want to make any of these shows that we're pitching tonight. I really, really like they're also freaking amazing.
What a great pitch. Give it up for Eric. Thank you so much, sir. Give me a little elbow there on your way out. Yeah, well done, well done. As somebody who considers themselves not political, and for anybody else who considers themselves not political, I'd like to remind you all to maybe consider voting for Dirty in 2026. Again, I am a congressman. Next up, we got something special. We got something special for y'all. We got a little piece of historical fiction from our good friend Julius Caesar. You can have, no, you can't have mine. No, you can have mine, of course, sweetheart. You can have anything you ever want from me.
Let's see. Hey, y'all, how you doing? All right. 5 minutes. Let's do this. Okay, the whole point of this show really is just to do a big, splashy period piece musical. That's really the point of the whole thing. But there's some history and a story. Swing shift, a rock opera recollection. So, the story, because there's two-part story. This is Michelle Schellers. You may remember her from Glitterous Dragon Rising. So, part of the story comes from her. Her grandmother was a band leader during World War II in the USO, black woman, and she traveled all through the South Pacific, but she had a very sort of gender-neutral name. So she would show up on bases to lead these bands that were mostly white men playing, and they would be really upset. But by her name, they didn't know that she was a black woman. She's like, well, I'm here, and you got to do a show because the soldiers want a show. And she did this for a long time, but she would get in trouble for it. So it was a whole thing. So I thought that was interesting. So I started doing a little research, and there were a few USO bands that were black women bands, and there actually was a band that was black, white, and Latino women, which I thought was real interesting. I thought that could be an interesting story because there's music already, And more importantly, there's retro fashion. Who doesn't love an opportunity to do retro fashion? To do the hair and the makeup and all of the styles. As you can see clearly, I look for any reason to wear this stuff. So I know lots of other people look for any reason to wear this stuff. So I feel like there'd be a lot of good opportunity to make an amazing looking show in terms of the fashions. Also, there's the music. Just to create original music in the styles of all these great musicians. I'd love to hear like even a modern take on any of this stuff. Basie, Frank Sinatra, Lena Horne. So now we have an amazing sounding show. And the dancing. Gotta do some swing dancing. That's like really, really important to this whole thing. So now we have an amazing looking show, an amazing sounding show, and we're gonna dance too. And I feel like we just need to do all these things because the world is kind of sucky right now. So, to the story. Technical Sergeant Ruby Jefferson. She is a black band leader. She leads a band called the Swing Sisters. And some of this is sort of, like I said, historical fiction based on a few true stories. They traveled through the United States. They went to Europe, mostly to perform for the black soldiers. But they were really good and really hot and really popular. And the white soldiers wanted to see them too, so the audiences became integrated, which was fine for the audiences. Everybody just wanted to hear the music. The brass didn't necessarily care for that. Although there were no incidents, everybody was cool. Folks in charge weren't feeling it. So, as she turns up in her next town to barracks to do her next show, she discovers she is going to be replaced. And the all-female band that everybody is just loving. You know how you're having a good time with, good people. There's always somebody comes along and messes it up. So, now, Jack is actually an excellent band leader, but of course there's kind of the presumption that he is just being brought in because they don't want her. So, the show, in my mind, is kind of about the last couple of days that they kind of spend together before there's the changing of the guard. I haven't really written the show, this is just a concept, but this is how I would like the show to begin. It's present day. They're having a celebration for Ruby Jefferson to honor her service in the military and her musical career. She's surrounded by family and friends and people that care about her. They want to hear her stories about her days in the service. At the exact same time, many, many miles away, Jack is also having a similar event in his honor. So at the same time, they're talking about their days in the service. They're talking about the music that they played. Ruby is a little salty about how she had to leave. Okay, I just jacked all that up. Yes, I sure did. Pretend you don't see that. Anyway, so Jack and Ruby in these separate places are talking about at the same time their time in the service. And then something happens and they discover that they are together witnessing their past. So now they're going to kind of walk through those last couple of days where they were kind of butting heads. I like the idea of this. I feel like there's so many things you can build into that script about sexism and race and not being seen and not being acknowledged and knowing that you're good at something, but no one wants to give you credit for that. I just feel like there's a lot of richness there that I feel like everybody can appreciate. We have a good-looking show, a good-sounding show. There's amazing dancing happening. There are themes that resonate with everyone. And I really like the idea of shared memory because there's lots of studies that show this. We all actually have shitty memories. We really don't remember what happened. So when we think about something that happened in the past, we think we remember. That's not really what happened. And I like the idea that if we could see what actually happened in our past, I think we'd be surprised at how different it is from the way we remember it. That's all I got. 5 minutes, I'm awesome.
Questions. Not everybody all at once. There's
no
one at the bar.
That'd be
Couple.
cool,
There we
too.
go. Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta talk more. Okay, cool. Yes, anyone, whoever.
You go first.
Yeah, Laddie got the mic.
Hey, I really like the ideas in this, but what makes this a rock opera specifically?
The music and the dancing and the look and the sound of it, just that is really what makes it a rock opera. That it's a very simple story, but I think the idea was that the music, the look, the sound is what is going to bring those elements. That's kind of why I want the story to be simple, because I want all those other pieces to really turn up the volume on the simple story.
Hi, really cool sounding concept. I'm wondering if you can talk more about some of the production elements that you're envisioning. Are there certain set pieces or something of that like that you're envisioning or would love to see and would like some community creativity to figure out?
Sure. One of the things is I want the music to be a character in the show. Because of all the ways in which they are all butting heads, the one thing everybody can agree on is that they really enjoy the music. They really love playing for these people who love hearing their music so much. So I really want there to, like, I want the music, I don't want this to kind of be a literal interpretation of this story, because really, ultimately, it's just these two people who are in conflict walking through the memory of the events and seeing what really happened and seeing how they feel about it now in real time. So I want the music to be very present, but I don't necessarily literally want to see a band on stage. So that's kind of one thought I had about it.
Yeah, so what would you say is the like awe-striking moment of this musical? So frequently in bro shows we have something that will melt faces, whatever minds, etc., etc., etc. What do you have in mind? Anything that will have the audience going, "Holy smokes! What did we just see?"
What is the I'm like trying to decide between two things because I feel like
Tell us both.
Why not both? So the one I think awe-striking moment that I want there to be is, as is often the case, I want, although obviously these two main characters are going to be having conflict, and part of their conflict is always going to be the presumption that Jack, who is replacing Ruby, is not as good as her. I want there to be a moment where it is clear that he is just as talented and as good a band leader and everything as her. He is just really caught between a rock and a hard place. I find like a lot of times in these types of stories, there's a presumption that the black person is just 1,000 times superior in whatever than the other character. I don't want it to be that. I want them both to be equally good and just caught up in some fuckery that is really beyond their control. And how are they gonna connect despite all this stuff that's happening that is beyond their control? So I feel like that moment of connection through the music, I think, would be the awe-inspiring thing.
Hi, I'm really interested in this show because with one really notable exception, Bros has not super leaned into like capital D dance. And I think given the nature that this is like this recollection piece, I know you have like a pretty big focus on swing, which like there's a huge community for in Baltimore.
Yes, I'm aware.
Have you like, yeah, I'm sure. Have you thought about like having different dance styles or as you go back in time with recollection and incorporating other forms of dance throughout it as an opportunity?
Definitely. I'm, in addition to being familiar with the swing community, I know that there are a lot of sort of dance styles that were popular during this era. So I would definitely love to see all of those. Like I said, I really just want this to be like an explosion of music and dance and style on stage. So yes, I would definitely love to see, you know, a lot of different styles of dance. Because, you know, it is wartime and people are trying to celebrate and ignore the fact that it's wartime. So I would like to see the intensity of really celebrating your life when you might be about to lose it at any moment.
Awesome.
So what potential is there for an old school swing battle of the bands? Because that's what I want to see.
One of the things I was thinking about as I was creating this idea, I would love to see as many musicians as humanly possible involved in this thing. So, like, just all of them. So, a battle of the bands could definitely happen. So, if anybody, like, plays anything, like, even, like, if you have a comb with some tissue paper wrapped around it, you know, if you can make it sound good, then let's do it.
Thank you so much, Patulu. Swing shift, what a beautiful idea. Give it to some other fool. I can't help but find myself wondering what it would be like for Frank Sinatra to be out on the trail. And I think it would go a little something like this. 2, 3, 4. Oh, them little doggies run about. Oh, them little doggies, get 'em out. You want to come home, but you are full of bones. And the meat upon them bones is what I want. Thank you very much. Good hit, Greg. Thank you very much. All right, we got one more for you. We got one more for you guys. Oh, and look at how intricate it's gonna be.
Sing a song about it.
I sang my song. Everybody, please give it up for a true bro, solid person.
Thank you for that scintillating introduction, Dirk. Hi, my name is Deborah. I have been around Bros for a long time, but typically a backstage person, stage management, production management. This is not my forte. So I'm really glad that I can't see any of you because light is blinding. It's awesome. Right here is my pal Josiah. I asked him to help me out today with doing some Foley for this pitch. And so he is not a pro, but he is a really cool guy. And he said, yes, I will look this up and figure it out in the next 3 days. And so he did that. And yeah, with that said, thank you for having us. And also, I will say, if you liked either of the last 2 pitches, great. Mine is kind of a combination of both of them. So I hope that, yeah, you like some of those elements. Very good. It is called The Coal Hearts Conspiracy. So, there's a blackout. A light comes on the pit downstage left. It illuminates a person standing behind a table filled with an odd assortment of objects. And then, a door opens and closes. Footsteps cross the room. A dull thud. An ominous drip. Good trip. You know something terrible has happened, but you don't yet know what. That is the first time I have heard these sounds, so that was awesome. Thus begins The Coal Heart Conspiracy, a hard-boiled rock opera in 3 acts. The quick sell. Oh, I thought I rearranged this. That's okay. Bros does a noir or retro-futurist detective mystery. When lab-synthesized humans called Mimios start turning up dead with their hearts carved out, reluctant private investigator Merritt Fletcher and jaded desk cop Roscoe Flynn must investigate together, piecing together a decades-long plot that somebody in the city will do anything to conceal. Dun dun dun. I want to talk a little bit about the word retrofuturist because it is often used for what did people think the future was going to be like when they were in the 50s? Like you're thinking about the Jetsons or things like that. In this case, it's sort of similar to that. It's basically an alternative history to ours in which a period of time, I have set mine in the 30s, is blessed with different technology than they had back then, and so that is the environment. The 30s but a slightly different 30s is where this show takes place. Inspirations. 5 minutes is way too short to tell you everything, so just to tell you what's sort of behind this. Radio dramas of the 1930s and 40s, detective fiction, retrofuturism, film noir, a couple of comics that I will happily talk your ear about later. This one's called Lavender Jack. It's really great. Highly recommend. And these are just some pictures from the 30s to get us grounded. Who are the Mimios? To understand the show, you really have to understand like what these people are. They are not robots. They are not replicants. Well, they are replicants, actually. I think. When I started writing this pitch, everyone was like, "But have you seen Blade Runner?" And I was like, "Actually, no, I have not." It's different. It's different, and I will tell you why. Just wait for it. They are designed with small improvements, but they are not superhuman. They cannot reproduce. They are resistant to disease. They age more slowly. Their hearts are black, hence coal hearts, and it functions as a kill switch for them. Science. I don't know how that works. They serve as manual laborers, service industry workers. They form most of the army. They get retired at age 55. Euphemism. They are visually distinct in ways they cannot hide. How? I don't know yet. That's something that I would love to bring to production. Right now, I am picturing a couple different classes of Mimios with varying alterations based on what their role is. So physical jobs might have horns, like bull horns, or service industry jobs have an extra arm, things like that. These are just some pictures of some things I looked up. You guys have seen, probably you might recognize some of those horns. I really love the big eyes, the extra arms, bat ears, I don't know. So it sort of depends on what those classes of people are and what they're doing. But the thing I want to say about the Mimios is that they are, how do I put this? In my pitch, I said they were third-class citizens, but it's almost more than that, because if you think about it, it's what is worse than hatred is actually just pure indifference. And so if you think about how general society, real humans feel about the Mimios, it's kind of a bell curve where you got kind of some people at the end who despise them. They think they're so unnatural, they're get out of here, whatever. But most of society thinks of them as just a household object, an appliance. And that's why I say it's different from Blade Runner or other things of this nature, that they are really some scenes that get built where people are just there's a body and people just step over it, right? That's really weird, and that should cause a reaction in the audience, right? And then at the other end of the curve, much smaller amount of people are oh, okay, these are probably approaching real humans, right? They're basically humans. They just have a little bit of extra zazz to them. So anyway, that's the Mimios. What makes this show the cat's meow? Intrigue. This is really funny. Keep them guessing till the very end. Maybe we'll pull a clue and do a different ending every night. Who knows? Wow, I thought I had such a great idea. It was a great idea. Two of us had it. I am on the fence about that for reasons that I might tell you later, but I'll move on. Immersion, front of house, back of house, whole entire house. We need some ringers. So, let's get that going. Elegance, beauty, simplicity, storytelling through sound and lighting, strong visual coherence, and all the other bros shit too. A riot, a motorbike chase, a secret lab, and then not to mention shadow puppets, and I forget what else I wrote there, but it's probably something good. Intrigue. This bad boy can fit so many red herrings. I really want this to be a show that actually keeps the audience wondering, right? This is a partial cast of characters. I'm not really going to get into it, but Merritt is the private investigator. Roscoe is a Mimio. He is the token Mimio for the local police department. He is, they're all very long-suffering, I would say. The Fletchers, that's Merritt's family. The Mimios at large, they're going to be around. They're going to be actively a part of the scene and the city and its characters. Gritty, nosy, opinionated. I'm picturing people just Belle, the first scene of Beauty and the Beast, where hello, bonjour, everybody's going to be doing that kind of thing, but it's just going to be a little weirder. And then, oh my goodness gracious. Okay. These are sort of our players, our potential suspects. We got the police. We love to hate them. They're no help. Department of Mimio Integration. It's a little bit worse than it sounds. DHR, the Department of Human Rights. It's a lot worse than it sounds. And then we have Apex Technologies, which is the sinister corporate interest. Exactly as bad as it sounds. I'm not going to tell you about these folks, but that's okay. Thick plot. This was originally 3 sides, blah, blah, blah. None of that crap matters. So here's the highlights reel. Roscoe convinces Merritt. She doesn't want to do it. She's like, why would I? She is a private investigator, but she's like, I investigate murders. And he's like, yeah, this is a murder because he's a Mimio. And she's like, and she's like, but she's nice. So she's like, okay, I'll humor you. I'll go to this crime scene. And then she sees there was a struggle. Well, what does that mean? That means the Mimio didn't want to die, right? That's a moment. We should feel stuff about this. This is a mystery with heart. The government pretends things are fine. These are government assets. They have been produced to do this labor. They are owned by the government, and so, but they don't want the population to know. This is very weird. They're showing up and they have their hearts carved out. what is happening, right? Blah, 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 more deaths happen. Eventually, real human dies. Suddenly, people care. They're threatened and told to stop, probably a couple times. They definitely don't stop. They uncover integral clues. They confront the perp. There's a twist that blows everyone's pants off. Everyone learns a lesson and goes home to think about their lives, including the audience. Oh my gosh, I gotta go way faster. Be the 30s murder mystery you want to see. Not really a murder mystery in the way that Eric's pitch was, but things that will make this immersive. Radio broadcast, set the tone of the period, deepen the context, and move the plot forward without making the show 4 hours long. Live Foley and shadow play, heighten the suspense, emphasize the action, and simplify the stagecraft. What I mean by this is that when there are murders, I do not want them to be pictured live on stage. I would like them to be implied. And so the Foley is the stuff that's like creating that while you have shadow play going on. Stage crew in front of house. You guys complete it. Sorry, I'm saying you guys because I'm a stage crew person. Every part of production should be part of the show. You're gossiping, you're complaining, you're bickering while you're doing your work, and that like really builds that energy for people. And this is just some shadow play pictures. Sorry, I'm a very text heavy person. These are actually pictures from Jesse Jean. I could not find better ones online, but Jesse Jean was a shadow play show we did a couple years ago. People love to solve a mystery. We should let them try. 3 acts. More time to debate in the bar line for them to build their theories. Heavy world building. I know this is not technically part of the show, but I would really love there to be like podcasts leading up to opening night where we're like meeting the characters, but like in character, not like, oh, let's talk about the actor, but like it's like in the world of the show. Not required to understand the show, just a little something extra. Audience opt-ins, drink discounts for dressing up, selected seats get props, I don't know, and like lots of stuff in the house. I love that kind of stuff. Gabe said something about tentacles, and that was something I really wanted to do for Lunastis. I'm all about stuff that like kind of like comes out from behind people's seats and stuff like that. This is just a little bit more to show some costumes and stuff from the period. We love a period piece. I love all these women in their pantsuits. And then also some dudes. That's cool too, or whatever. Elegance. Elegance is do less better. Efficiency with style. Use a little to achieve a lot. Does that mean it's going to be boring, easy, secretly a normal play? Perish the thought. My goal is to maximize suspension of disbelief for the audience. So like what I mean by this is that you know that this is not a bar that has been dropped on stage. I actually don't think that this needs to be a very realist show. I don't want to build out a bar if there's a bar scene, which there will be, or build out an alley what I want is to have enough things in it and lighting and sound that makes you believe that, even though obviously that's pretty much just a bare stage with a couple lines and maybe like 1 or 2 props. Cool. So set and lighting design are going to be MVPs here. Limited scene transitions, haha, famous last words, but no, seriously. Lightweight, abstract, frequently repurposed. Sorry, I'm really a production person, you could tell. Realism not necessarily the goal. Dramatic lighting everywhere. Noir vibes, striking, asymmetric, sudden, practical effects so that people can play with stuff, and levels. Everyone loves levels except for the sets team, but we love sets. Just some pictures again of stuff that maybe could be cool. I really love like windows. I think that could be like I said, I keep picturing like people poking their heads out, being like, "What's going on down there?" Just like really living the city in the stage. There's some levels. I don't know what's happening in this scene, but I love it. I really love this loading dock. But who knows? All the other cool bro stuff. The independent underjundo part. Protest turn riot. It should feel really scary and raise the stakes. Motorbike chase. Gotta have one of these. Secret lab. Evildoer needs an evil lair. Some kind of switch gets flipped, and then sound, lights, and it feels like we're going down like a some kind of secret passage or something like that. 2 other very important things that I've not yet talked about. Sorry. 1, big band energy. I said electro swing and jazz metal. Someone just plucking on a bass during tense scenes. Nobody puts the band in a corner. They got to share the limelight with Foley, but I would also, similar to Petula, I would love as many musicians in this band as we could get. Again, famous last words for someone who's a stage manager. Banger choreo, again with the dance. I would really love some tightly synchronized stuff that looks impressive, but maybe isn't that hard to learn, or maybe it is, and we put the pedal to the metal to recruit dancers. I'm not really sure yet. I would love a swing scene. That is definitely something that is I have thought a lot about. Not that I'm implying that is easy to learn, but and so yeah, that's kind of it. And I said, thanks. Do you have any questions? Too bad I used up all my time because I probably did. Oh my God, there's a stage timer right here. I didn't know it. Cool.
Questions. Deb wins the medal for concise pitch, I think.
Oh wow. Thanks. Concise. I feel like that was the longest.
So like, if this is kind of a noir thing, is it going to be in black and white or like something close to it, or?
Great question. I do not think that doing a show in black and white is especially practical. Not that we always concern ourselves about practicalities at Bros. See also time travel, teleportation, other things, crazy giant dragons, things we have done. But I do not think that is good for a range of skin tones. I think that can be really hard to achieve. I think stage lighting is really important, but it can only do so much. I did play a little bit. The reason I had the Mimios have like physical characteristics is because originally I was thinking, oh, maybe they're just like a faded version of people, and then I realized that would be really, really hard to sell and harder to distinguish for the audience, so I think it is more important for them to be visually distinct. So not exactly, but I think there could be elements, I think with stark lighting, that it could look like it should still look like a more minimal palette, but I'm not picturing it being in black and white, personally, but who knows, maybe that will change.
Can you tell us more about how the story ends and what the audience should take away at the end?
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I said that I wasn't really sold on the clue thing. I love the clue thing because I think it's a cool idea, and I love the replayability of it, and like not knowing what you're gonna get. I also love, I would have wanted to not say anything about that so that people didn't know, and then they're like talking with their friends after and being like, but actually, I think it's more meaningful if it's actually just one person. I know who that person is, but I don't want to share it because I think it's spoilers. But I will tell you, like, this is obviously a show that's about class, and like you know, being like realizing that you should have working class solidarity and that the people above you don't have your best interests in mind. And so I think what does come out, there is a twist, as I said, it will blow your pants off, but I don't think that's a phrase. I don't know. I wrote this in a fever dream. But anyway, it will be meaningful because of that person's identity, and when they reveal themselves, it's going to be about like kind of realizing that your enemies are not who you thought they were, and you know, maybe you need to think about like who you're allying yourself with.
This is a statement more than a question, but 2 intermissions and integrated front of house where like they're Mimios sounds fucking tight.
Could be cool. Could be cool. I'm saying. And I
more
think,
chances to pee, more drinks.
more chances to pee. I think that a big part of the strength. I had like 20 more slides, and I was like axing them left and right. A big part of the strength of this really has to be in really tight writing, and that's part of the reason why I was like, oh, if we were able to do pre-show stuff to sort of do some of the world building that I would love to do, but that isn't like super integral. Like you can get the plot without knowing the world building, but like that we can keep. I know again, for the 3rd time, famous last words, but I do feel like we can keep the length of this show down, so.
That segues perfectly into my question, because I was about to ask, what is your estimated length, runtime of the show?
I think the total runtime will end up being 2 hours or 2:15, but I think I am picturing 3 30-minute sections and then shorter intermissions in between.
I have a question. Do you think the Mimios would need some sort of special training to differentiate their movements separate from the humans?
It's not something I was thinking of at first. I think it is a possibility. I think they are otherwise, other than their features, they look a lot like humans. And the fact that they don't age. So like Roscoe is like a 55-year-old stuck in like a 35-year-old's body or something like that. Like I'm not actually picturing them. They're not robots, right? They are just humans that were crash grown in essence, and then genetically modified in some way. I think it is possible, but by and large, people don't notice them. So yeah, until they do.
So that actually leads me into my question, because during COVID, there was that doctor, if everybody remembers, who started cloning, or it was making genetically modified children. Does anybody remember this? Yeah. Yes. Anyway, he's done it again, and now there are more people, even in the United States, there are companies who are creating this on purpose, and they are actively trying to make genetically modified people who have different, has anybody seen, what's it called?
Do you have a question about the show? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Question about the show.
The question about the show is it like altered carbon, where you get, like, is there a political tie-in between, like, what's going in? Like, are these people, are they not people? How do we treat them? Or is it more like Cloud Atlas of, like, are these robot people? So is it going to be a tie-in here, or like what's
I am not certain that I understand the question, but I will say that yes, there is a tie-in. Yes, it is political. Like I think that the Mimeos were created, right, to, hypothetically, to give people a life of leisure. They still have to, humans still have to work in, like, they're working in the arts, they're working in management, they're doing all, like, you know, all the like kind of heavy, like the big brain jobs, right? Yeah, these once again, not robots. They are really fully human, other than the fact that they have had some things replaced and improved upon. I think the question that the show is, like, you know, the question that the detectives are answering is, why would someone want to kill these people, right? They're harmless. Like, they have a kill switch that keeps them from ever doing harm to their, basically to their owners, right? But for all intents and purposes, they're sort of left to their own devices. People think they don't have hobbies and interests. They do. I would love for them to have a speakeasy. I don't know. I think that, I don't know if that answered your question.
I guess the question is, like, the big takeaway, is it more like, what do we, because this is new guys, and like, how do we treat these people? Like, what do we do with this new information of this new class?
Yes, yeah, so that is the ending, is sort of like, oh, maybe we need to rethink this, yeah.
That is the ending.
That is the ending. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Deb. We're Leonard.
Oh, Lord. This fire has been very productive tonight, I would say. Sparks have flown into the air, mixed with the stars, and shown what the potential is from randomness. And that's part of what this is. It's chaos. This exercise is an element of chaos. Seeing what all these crazy motherfuckers can come up with. What the hell we want to do? What insanity do we want to bring to life? And I ask you all going forward to think, which of these, what are these crazy shits do you want to build? Keep that in mind. All of them, that's not an option. That's a really good idea. But we got to choose one. So think about which one you really want to be a part of. And then realize that 35% of the people in here aren't going to agree with you. But you're participating anyway. Thank you, that's democracy. Everybody have a wonderful night.
You got a minute. I'd have to look it up, but it's not tonight. Votes go out to the rest of the Bros community after this, who are able to watch online as well.
Votes close when the cattle come home.
Yeah, it's on the website. I just don't want to say the wrong date. But this QR code is going to take you to an online poll. We use ranked choice voting to help avoid splitting the vote. So you'll be ranking all of the pitches from your most favorite to the least favorite. There are instructions on the website, but let me know if you have any trouble with anything. Vote tonight. That way, you'll do it.
Question, Rowan. When is the video available if you want to revisit it?
Now!
Perfect.
It is called Pitch Party 12.
Vote Dirty 2026.
We'll be announcing the winner in October, but voting is going to close before then. I don't think we have any other about that. Do you want to say anything about it?
Come scan the code and get a little bit of the sunny day on your way out.
If you had an idea that didn't make it into this pitch party, or if you're trying to partner with Bros for the next fall show, we're going to be opening submissions soon for the Battle of the Bands. Choose our next year's fall show musical partner in the style of Ceremony of the Faceless or this fall's Garbage Quest, a collaboration with Garbage Masher. So keep an eye out on the floaters as well.
for applications for the Bros Battle of the Bands.
Let's go!
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Going back to the emails from my I want to make sure
I want a glitter chainsaw. I want a glitter chainsaw. Is it Sunny D or Sunny D? Can I Thank you so much.
your pitch definitely resonated with me because I'll just start by saying this.
Very good, Barkeep.
I just hosted a Glen Metal themed party over the weekend. Yeah. So that is my bread and butter right there. Yours is a little bit more like focused on like the more like glam rock, so it's like more focused on like the proto influences of like the players of that, which I'm like not quite as like but it's like the same energy that inspired that. Yeah.
He's got his beard.
Yeah.
All their favorite kind of
Sure.
trash truck.
I noticed that. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for it.
I noticed that the very first song that you featured in the presentation was yeah, that's originally by Sweet, right? Yeah. So it's funny because I wasn't familiar with the original version of that song, but I know it because of the Def Leppard cover. So like I'm just like the next decade down the road of like where that went in terms of like my influences and favorites. And you said you already wrote some? Okay. You don't have anything like demoed out yet? Like just like singing and guitar? Okay, so not like fully instrumental. Fair enough, yeah. Just like just this is the idea. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, there isn't a baby Have fun on your
So it just occurred to me, did you ever see an Adult Swim sketch that came out about a decade ago called Too Many Cooks? So yours kind of sounds like a live version of Too Many Cooks in some ways. That just occurred to me. I wasn't thinking about that during the presentation, but like all the better because like I love the original version of that. And yeah.
Harley and I actually.
Yeah, I wasn't really into that, but it's cool.
We started both at the same time. And I was director and co-wrote with my most fabulous actors.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the space one today was giving me prototype feel.
So
and then